Good to have Shabbos, everyone. Parshas Noso in Chutzlar, Parshas Behaloscha in Eretz Yisrael. Today's little Dvar Torah is dedicated in honor of my new grandson who was born Baruch Hashem in New York. His bris is going to be Be'ez Hashem next week, and he should be gesund and go into the bris b'shat tov u'mitzlachas. Very excited. So, like we said, there's two parshas. We're here in Eretz Yisrael and in Chutzlar. And both of the names of the parsha, Behaloscha and Noso, represent elevation. Noso Yisrael is to lift up the head of the Levites of the house of Gershon and the other Levites. And Behaloscha, although it's literally translated to kindle, to light the menorah, but also, as the Alter Rebbe explains in the Kutei Torah and Torah Or of Chanukah, Behaloscha is the elevation that Aaron HaKohen elevates the Jewish people. So we have the name and the message seemingly is elevated. But as we navigate through both parshas, we see there's ups and downs in the parsha. Parshas Noso goes at the middle to the laws of the Sota. The Sota is a woman who her husband is so uncertain with her behavior, he accuses her of having relations outside the marriage. And then you have the Nazir that sees the Sota and says, maybe I have to restrain myself from certain things. I have to not drink wine, not cut my hair, other things not become tamei, other things I have to bring extra kedusha in my life as a preventative of not to be in a situation of a Sota, of a woman like that. But then we end up on a high note with the dedication of the Mishkan by the princes. So too Behaloscha, of course, starts on a high note, the lighting of the menorah, the elevation of Aaron HaKohen. But then we really hit pretty low. So much low that the Torah has to separate between bad stories. And mamish, the situation, the Jews are crying, and it ends off kind of chaotic, where Moshe is being accused by his sister and his brother. They're talking Lashon Hara. There's prophecies of Moshe not going into the land. The last two portions are kind of chaotic, but does end up on somewhat of a positive note where God forgives Miriam, and then the Jewish people wait in her honor, and then God says she will be gathered in. We will take her in. She'll be la'asav. She'll be gathered in. So there's no pushing out totally, even though she gets saras, etc. So kind of to a little bit of a lesson that we can have in the parsha is in this navigation of the up and down. The Or Chaim HaKadosh teaches us an amazing thing. One of the things the Jewish people complain about this week's parsha is about the meat. We want meat. And the Or Chaim says that what bothered God and Moshe so much wasn't so much the ask for meat. You can ask for something, you need something, ask Hashem. That's a mitzvah. Why are you crying? It says the Jewish people cried. And the crying wasn't a crying of anything less. It was a crying of despair, of yiush, feeling that God can help them. They're crying because they feel there's no way out. And what do you mean there's no way out? God is here with you. And it's even more than that we could add. That we know that they were saying that we have Mann, but we want more than Mann. What's Mann? Mann is food from heaven, bread from heaven, which represents absolute bitachon. You have to have trust. You have no participation, no even official codependency. It's all on God. It's not a job. There's no contract. Every morning, you can't even take for tomorrow. The Jewish people couldn't live like that. They said to Hashem, we need to have a codependency. Give us food that we can touch, bread, meat. Give me a job. Give me a contract. I know a salary. I know what I'm supposed to expect. This total dependence on Hashem, they couldn't handle it. And the message of this parsha is that we go through these ups and downs in our life, in our bitachon, in our emunah. Sometimes we feel like we don't know where things are going to come from. But Hashem, we have to always know that Hashem is with us. Like God says, you followed me into the desert, I'm with you. And the idea of the Mann was to teach the Jewish people that even when we go into Eretz Yisrael, that there's really no difference between Mann that comes down from heaven and your job and your parnasa and everything. Everything comes from Hashem. But the idea is at the end, at least it ends on a positive note of the dedication of the temple, the dedication of Miriam who gets pulled back into the Jewish people. We should never lose despair in ourselves. Even if we have bad moments, we should know that at the end we could do tshuva, we could rectify it, we could learn from our mistakes, in a positive way. With Mashiach Tzidkenu b'karv mamish.